Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Welcome into Missing the Point. I'm DK Sizzle here with Real BK Bob Kelly in the fresh aftermath of the murder in Miami that just took place. The final score was Celtics 1,000,000, Heat a little. Reminded me of a quote by FBI agent Adam Frawley, John Hamm in the movie The Town. This is the not fucking around crew, so someone get me something that looks like a print, because this not fucking around thing is about to go both ways. Bobby, you just watched the fucking Celtics demolish the Miami Heat in a fashion that I feel we were pretty sure was going to happen at some point. I feel that our confidence in this team, it's a cycle. It's the team played with confidence. The team played with grit. The team stopped doing all the stupid shit that they were doing in the past few years to blow leads and get fucked up. And they did it in game one a little, but we owed them some faith. And that faith paid off. What'd you think of that game?
Yeah, man, this is 100% what I expected out of this game. 127 to 102 is closer than this game actually was. This game did have an opportunity to be a 40 to 50 point game.
Everybody pulled their starters around about 9 minutes left in the fourth, which is pretty fucking embarrassing, Eric. Yeah, I know it was the smart thing to do, and the commentators were like, well, that was just the smart thing to do. And it's like, well, all right.
They Heat dick so much in this game. It was absurd. But no, man, this was exactly what I expected. I said it after last game to every Celtics fan on Twitter that was having a heart attack, or everyone everywhere.
It was negative.
Bro,
the tone was dark.
We owe this team so much more after what we just witnessed than A, to turn on them after one loss, especially in game one of a series, and B, to do that loss close, battling without two of your best defense. Not two of your best defensive players, your 2 best defensive players, and your 2 heart and souls. Like, that's the biggest thing I heard about game one is like, oh, they just had no heart. Well, yeah, their fucking heart and soul was on the bench, guys. Like, we just talked about this at nauseating fashion for so long, how much Marcus and Al mean to this team, to the heart, to what they play with. And it was so evident tonight, man. Like, within 10 minutes, we were like, oh, right, this is our fucking team. It's night and day, man. Those 100%. Two mean so much.
You remember when Draymond kicked LeBron in the balls?
Yeah.
And everybody knew
great.
Everybody knew that Steph and Clay weren't going to be able to beat the Cavs in that following game when he was suspended, and it swung the entire series in that finals.
Yeah.
They don't have to be your best, most talented player to be just as important to your winning as your best, if not more important than your best, most talented player. Yeah, the game's all about buckets. We get that, and we got 2 guys that can go get you those, and we'll obviously go on to talk about JB and JT's performance in this game, because it was, I think, professional, mature, consistent, like all these words. It wasn't Tatum going off in Game 6 against Milwaukee, but it was exactly what they needed to do. But since we're on Marcus Smart, the God among men, of course, I think him coming in with this is the perfect Marcus Smart potion. A chip on his shoulder, something to prove, a narrative that he wasn't involved in the first game, and that's why, and that to prove, and a guy who really just put his fucking hand on the top of the Celtics' head and said, like, it's all right, little guy, in game one in Jimmy Butler, and Marcus being like, okay, let's see if those switches work, because he even let them switch him and Peyton Pritchard a couple of times. And Jimmy had a little run in the third. I'm not taking that away from him. And it's not like it mattered though. Marcus was fucking all over him from the start. And Jimmy had to go 1,000 miles an hour in order to produce that little spell of Jimmy Butlerisms, because he's not fucking Giannis. And this is what I was saying to you. Watching this series is already more relaxing because Giannis isn't in there to just do whatever the fuck he wants for 4 quarters across 6.8 games. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just not the same thing when it's Jimmy Butler. I love Jimmy Butler. But Marcus being able to come in and do that. And yeah, heart and soul is the point. I think Al contributed. I was saying Al was just as important as Marcus to come back in, but that's clearly was not true. I was clearly wrong about that. Marcus was a huge influencer because of the way this Miami Heat team play, because of the way that their guards rotate and switch. And there was a moment, let's talk about this. There was a moment sort of at the start, like the very, very start, where the role players started banging in shots and we all got a little bit worried. Let's talk about what we did to mitigate those guys and how it should make you less worried that their 3 and 4 guys are, they're just not it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like your point is true. But I think you should include Bam in it. After Jimmy, Hero, and Bam, their options fucking plummet.
There's nothing.
They plummet. Man. So let's talk about their role players a little bit too. Because you're making points about them in the Discord. Where, like, are you scared? I'm not.
No, not even a little bit, man. Listen, Gabe Vincent and what's his name, Max Strus. Former Celtic. He's a
decent little 3-point shooter. And Vincent's, I think, a really good dribbler, and he plays good in and out. And I think he could be the 7th best guy on a championship team.
Yeah,
not the 4th.
Right. He's Peyton Pritchard on the Celtics. You know what I mean? That's the role he would be playing on our team. And it's just, when you look up and down the rosters, man, it's not even close. You know what I mean? Like, up and down, it's not even close. It was close in game 1. It was.
Yeah, because we
didn't have Horford and Smart, right?
Yeah, they're like 3 and 4. I mean, that's just the long and short of it is
it's 1 and 2 on defense, and 1 and a solid 1.
Unless we're playing the Nets, it definitely goes. I think in just order of talent and importance and like roles. It definitely, and you correct me if I'm wrong. It definitely goes Jason, Jalen, Smart, Horford. I really think Horford's number 4. I know that's if you went and if this version of me went back in time and told me 9 months ago that I'd be saying that Horford's our 4th most important guy and it's a good thing, I'd be like, you're out of your fucking mind, dude. Yeah. Like, no way. But I mean, in this playoffs, it's I feel like it's undisputable. And I think go ahead.
No, I was just absolutely. And there's so it's just when you think about it. So that I said this earlier is to you is like, they take away the 2 of them specifically take away the thinking for our 2 top guys. You know what I mean? Without
2. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Without Horford and Smart, Tatum and Brown have to think about the game going on around them. They have to think about the game plan. They have to think about all this shit. With Horford and Smart in there, man, they're the brains of the operation. Like you've been in projects before where you have poor leadership and poor things at the top, where everyone is thinking about each individual thing they have to do, and it's a fucking disaster. When people just step in and do their job and do what they're supposed to do, and they have someone being there so they know if they fuck up or something goes wrong, they're there to calm shit down.
Yeah.
And that's what those 2 are, man. So like, you can't understate the importance to me. Everyone's like, excuses. It's legitimate, man. It's not an excuse. These 2 are so important to
it's not even so much
of our basketball team. You know?
It's not even so much that it's an excuse. It's a fact. I mean, we took the first L on the chin, no problem. Like it wasn't. If we I think everyone's attitude, the healthy side of the Celtics fandom. I said this on our last show with Joe. I think our attitude wasn't like we're making excuses for losing game 1. I still think we could have won game 1, and I think that was damning for the Heat. You know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly.
I think it was like, let's see, because they're going to come back most likely game 2, and let's fucking see. Like, let's see if they are going to make a difference. And there was this argument was happening on national fucking television with 2. I watched Shaq and Charles go back and forth about if it was going to make, the Heat, look, they just have too much. It's just like 2020 in the bubble. And Shaq was like, I can't remember. I honestly get them confused because they both say dumb shit a lot. But I think Shaq said to Charles, hey, dummy, it makes a difference when the defensive player of the year comes back in. Or Charles just said to Shaq, one or the other. One was fucking right and one was wrong. And because, like, obviously it does. Obviously it fucking does. Like, they were bullying Peyton Pritchard. We shouldn't be in that situation where they're bullying Peyton Pritchard. You know what I mean? It's just not, it's not acceptable. And we're not going to win that way, you know? And I think tonight, especially with guys like Pritchard, we were able to roll him in on the offensive side of the ball and cover him defensively. You know, because Mark, I don't know if you noticed, but every single time Peyton Pritchard was in a defensive situation, Marcus Smart was no less than 6 feet away from him.
100%.
Every single fucking time,
man.
Every single fucking time. So it's like, that's what you do. That's what guys like Marcus Smart do. So let's, you know, and I want to get back to this because I think it's a good question. You're Eric Spoelstra right now. You're the Heat. You just watched a fully healthy Celtics be longer, stronger, more athletic, have more options offensively, pretty much have you kind of figured out defensively. What do? You know, Bam was a non-factor because Al was just too big and too strong whenever he tried to go in. Jimmy will go get his, but Tyler Hero, is that, you know, do you think he's going to recreate you a fucking bubble miracle, dude? He was the 6th man of the year. That's great. He looked every inch not a starter today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, so what, like, so put yourself in the difficult scenario of Eric Spoelstra's shoes right now. What do you do? What do you do when you go to Boston?
You got to find ways. I think you got to find ways to switch different people on to Jimmy Butler, man.
Those switches don't work when Marcus is in there.
I know, exactly. So that's why it's just like, bro, this series could be what we were all thinking and be quicker than people think. I mean, we'll see what happens when we get back to Boston. I don't know, like, jinx us or call our shot or anything like that. But like, when you look at the matchup,
confident.
Yeah, when you look at what you see, when we're a fully healthy basketball team, man, there's not much they can do offensively against us. You know what I mean? Like, so the two guys that played the most important fill-in roles in game one, Tice and fucking Nesmith.
Tice didn't see a fuck.
Bro, Tice is the least switchable player on the Celtics. That's how you beat Tice, is you make him switch and he makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
It's like
he's slow and
he's
awkward.
Right. He's the least advantage person for, all right, that's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying? He's the least positive person when it comes to switches on the Celtics. So you have that where it's like he doesn't fit into that defensive strategy at all.
Yeah.
Then you have Nesmith, who we haven't seen since the All-Star break. And it's just like, bro.
Some encouraging minutes from him in game one, I thought, but yeah.
Yeah, no, and he was pretty good in game one, actually.
But I mean, he shouldn't be out there right now.
Right.
It's like, it's the Eastern Conference Finals. It's crazy. Yeah.
And when we're full strength, they just can't match up with us. And that's plain and
we weren't even full strength tonight. We were missing Derek White, who plays like a lot of important minutes for us. I mean, I know we've had our Derek White back and forths, but you know, we were missing him. And I feel like Pritchard being out there, I think he's really does bring a lot offensively. I think he backs himself when he shoots. I really like how he takes care of the basketball. I think that's his number one quality that he can bring to the table for us right now. Like,
his offensive rebounding is absurd for a low guy. I don't understand how he almost gets rebounds over 7 footers.
And I thought it was really impressive when he won that battle rap against Papa Doc and all those guys at the end of 8 Mile. I thought that was really impressive because like no one believed in him and he had already choked at the start. We all did, Bobby. We're all white dudes that went to school from went to high school like in the 2006 to 2012 range. You know, it's everybody's got those. Everybody in the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow.
Thank you for knowing exactly what I'm doing right there. You know,
follow Peyton P. All right, so point B, Peyton Pritchard's not seen as many minutes tonight if Derek White's in there. And Derek White defensively is the opposite of Peyton Pritchard. You're not exploiting him. He can actually stay one-on-one with guys. So when he comes back, if everyone got, God willing, so sports is when I become not an atheist. When the Lord above wills it, hopefully everybody stays healthy. And it's Derek White comes in and it's more defense on long guards and guys like fucking Strus. You know what I mean? It's like that's great. You can just eliminate those dudes with a Derek White appearance.
So Rayshawn said tonight, he pointed out Spoelstra keeps calling the same fucking play over and over again. And he does. It's right.
4 down.
Because that's all they got. That's all they got. And it's like, when you look at what they just did, even in their past series, like they barely beat a 76ers who had a broken, injured down Embiid. James Harden, who's a shell. And they took them 6 to beat them.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, when you think about what we already beat in the teams that we've already gone through, the Heat.
That's what I keep trying to
compare them to them, man. They don't compare to them.
This is what I've been trying to tell people for 4 fucking days.
Yeah,
that Bucks series was crazy hard. They're the defending NBA champions. They have a freakish fucking like alien on their team. They were playing pretty well.
And they have legitimate role players.
They have legitimate role players. They took away the thing that we love to do to teams, which is be longer and stronger and more athletic than them, like we're doing to the Heat right now. They took that away from us, and we had to figure some other shit out and just battle. They play aggressive defense. They were the number 1 defense across the whole playoffs. They're super legit. They're a super legit team. They're fucking hard to beat. And I think that another point, a good point Ray made in the Discord. We've won 8 of 9 quarters. We've won
7 of 8.
We've won 7 of 8 for I'm gonna fucking count to 8. This is a late show. We've won 7
of 9.
It's funny because
I played an extra quarter.
I think Ray did say 8 of 9, and which confused me, so I'm blaming him for that. But we've won 7 of 8 quarters. We lost the 3rd quarter against them in game 1. That's it. You know what I mean? That's all we've done. So I think if we just consistently keep winning quarters like this, I mean, even when we went down, I was like, it's fine. This is like legitimately going to be fine. Like, it didn't feel great when like their shots were dropping, but right away to you, when everyone started to panic, I was like, okay, first of all, they're like deep role players are hitting fucking deep threes.
Relax.
I was like, Jimmy Butler just hit a circus shot. You were like, yeah, I guess 2 of his points were like from Rob Williams just yamming a fucking block right into his hands and jumping.
Right into his lap, bro.
So you take those points away, it's like a different story. And I think that this Celtics team, and we should come on, I think, to talk about Ime a little bit. I think this Celtics team, a lot of its resiliency comes from being able to chill the fuck out in its timeouts. I love the way they came out of timeouts tonight again. I love the way they came out of halftime tonight. I think that Ime encourages the right things from the right players. I think that's what he does. And I think there seems to be a mantra, and every time I hear him mic'd up, there seems to be a mantra that's kind of stuck out to me is keep playing the right way. Keep playing the right way. Keep playing the right way. And it's like the thing that we were so upset with them about 2 years ago, 1 year ago, the bubble, like all these different runs, all these different playoff runs. They had a tendency to stop playing their game and stop doing what got them there. They had a real tendency to do that under Brad. And then probably at the start of this season too, under Ime a little bit, but I think that's a little hangover. Talk to me about what it is that you see in their resiliency and how different of a team they are coming out of timeouts, coming out of half times, and when they face adversity, when they face runs, when they have to weather storms. Like, this has been a big narrative we've been talking about. What is it that you think they're doing differently that you've seen that's making you feel as good as I feel about it and better than we have in the past couple of years?
I mean, Ime, I say that wrong every time.
You do say it wrong every time.
Ime.
I've gotten used to it.
Ime. It's exactly what he says, man. They play their fucking game. Mm-hmm. And it's been this way, honestly, for this whole run. Because when this team has played their game in the way that we all know that they've been capable of playing, they're this team. You know what I mean? It's when they get stuck in those ISO ball situations or when they get lackadaisical on defense. But this team doesn't seem to do that. And yeah, listen, that was a historically bad 3rd quarter. But
no, it literally was like the 2nd worst.
Historically bad, right?
Yeah.
Even if that was casually bad, we might win game 1,
mm-hmm.
right? Even if they outscore us by 11.
If it's not insurmountable going into the 4th, right. we're looking okay.
Right, exactly. And so it's just the overall work that Ime, you see, that's two in a row, has done with this team is just it's crazy, man. I don't know what it is that he does. I really think it really is just reminding them to play their goddamn game, play the way that I know you guys are capable of, and we'll be okay. It's kind of like, so it reminds me of 08 with Doc when we were down 23-24 points in that game. And you remember going to those timeouts.
The Lakers come back game?
The Lakers come back. Keep playing defense. Your shots will fall.
Yeah.
I know your shots will fall. You keep playing defense. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
They kept chipping away, and finally we came back. It reminds me a lot of that, where it's like he knows what this team can do and what we're capable of. It's just a matter of keeping their heads in the right place, man. And it's obviously working pretty well.
Yeah, that worked pretty well. I said to Joe yesterday when we were doing the kind of the commiseration of game one and the preview of game two, I was saying, and you worry about jinxing this stuff, but at the end of the day, you got to give your analysis. I was saying, I think the Heat might have showed everything they have. I think they might have given us everything they've got. And the lack of ideas that they had to come back tonight, like their run was just what they were already doing, working a little bit better, and like, for instance, a lot was talked about the ball pressure working on the Celtics, because the Celtics, and you and I have been saying this, don't love the ball handling from most of our guys, don't love it. Marcus has gotten so much better at bringing the ball up the court that they tried to pressure us and we just moved the ball. Like, it was just that simple. It was like they pressured the man and just moved the ball. And Jeff Van Gundy, who, I maintain is a dork and a fraud. I was listening to him being like, horrible. He's so bad. He's such a bad commentator. Horrible. It's so bad. He makes Mark Jackson worse too, but who's also not great at commentary. So I just sort of want, I know this is a dick move, but because they're both coaches, they both often say coachy things. I'd call a timeout right now, or I'd challenge that right now. I'm like, would you? Because you're a commentator now because you sucked it. So maybe just let the man do his fucking job, because he's in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I know people have things to say about Mark Jackson not getting a fair shake, and I think that's maybe fair. But end of the day, he's not a fucking coach anymore. So it's just nope. And they call each other coach too. It's such a fucking golf guy slapping each other on the back bullshit. Anyway, whatever. Point being, and Gundy kept being like, you got to make Jaylen Brown put the ball on the floor and dribble. You got to make him put the ball on the floor and dribble, because that's what. And I'm like, dude, they're trying. I'm literally watching them try to do that. It's not fucking working. Every time he gets first of all, if he has space, he can dribble and he can make fucking moves. And he had some sexy fucking dribble pull up mid-range shots tonight, which I really appreciated. I get that if he gets pressured, sometimes he makes bad decisions, but he wasn't doing that tonight, because guys like Marcus, guys like Al, they were just showing for the ball. And they were like, it's cool, man. You're pressured. Just pass it right off. All good. They cannot, and no one can double team us. Nobody in this league can double team us anywhere they go. That is our fucking secret sauce. You seen anybody try to really legitimately double team Jason Tatum in this postseason? Because it's suicide. It's fucking suicide.
It is 100%.
He'll kill you. He'll pass out of that double team, and whoever gets the ball most likely can shoot. And I just think it's watching this team in that regard. It's just I pick your poison. That's what I've been saying. It's pick your poison. How do you want to die? How do you want to go? Do you want to leave Jaylen Brown open? He's going to kill you. He's going to fucking kill you. He's shooting so confidently right now. His confidence is absolutely off the charts. You want to put Jason Tatum, you want to put the ball in his hands? He's going to kill you. You want to let Marcus Smart lead the fucking dance? He's going to kill you. You picked the lesser of all evils, and you left Al Horford open for three. He killed you. He hit the shot. Grant Williams. Grant Williams is goofy.
Hit it. Yeah,
Grant
hit
Williams is goofy. You got it. Well, all right. Well, there's a guy coming over. Pump fake, sidestep, bang. It's going.
Last man off the bench, Peyton Pritchard.
Peyton Pritchard, leave him over.
That's what he does.
I mean, to be fair, they did fucking torture Peyton Pritchard on the other end of the ball during the
game one.
Yeah, we covered up. We covered up. And I think it's the mistakes are getting smaller. The stretches of bad decision making are shrinking from series to series. And yeah, that was a bad third quarter. Don't get me wrong, that was a bad third quarter. But I accept it and I live with it. All right, let's move on to a preview. Oh no, you got one more?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, listen, and this even goes into the preview because it kind of is gonna go to my prediction for Game 3. Is we owe this team so much more than to bail on them after that last game, man. Listen, I get it. It was a bad game. We had a bad game 1 against the Nets. We had a bad game 1 against the Bucks. The Bucks are much, 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 much better than this Miami Heat team. Okay. Listen, Drew Holiday's not walking on that fucking court for Miami. I can promise you that. Yeah. And B is they haven't lost consecutive games.
Yeah. There was two streaks. There was 2 streaks tonight. There was that, and one of them had to get broken. The Heat hadn't lost at home in the playoffs yet, and we hadn't lost back-to-back games. So one of those streaks had to go tonight.
Not just in the playoffs, though, since February. So
we haven't lost back-to-back games since February.
Absolutely. So for us to lose this,
I didn't know that.
Now that we have home court again, right? We literally have to do something that we haven't done, and he'd have to do something to us that hasn't been done in over 3 months. Now that we have
beat us back-to-back, yeah,
beat us back-to-back games.
Great, I love it.
So let's go.
Yeah. I mean, we talked so much about how important it was to take a game away from them in Miami, and how, because of the way this series is kind of shaped up, how important it would be to take one of the early games. Because now we get a break. We get a little break. We get to go home. They get to sit in their own fucking houses. They get to drink out of their own fucking glasses. They get to eat their own dinner, and they get to drive to work. All these things. So moving on to a preview. Oh, and I'd just like to say, just as a quick aside, we put up a video of a couple of shows ago of me saying that Jason Tatum is now currently better than Paul Pierce ever was. And we got a lot of reactions out of that. And a lot of people responded. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely fucking nobody, because the double champ does what the fuck he wants. I mean, wait, sorry. Because I'm right. Like, I'm sorry.
You are right.
And what's nice about this take, and what I really love about it, and the kind of people that are, arguing with me about it, and arguing with my friends about it, and they're being like, "How can you say that?" It's a nostalgia response is what you're having. But and I totally appreciate it. I was there for all the Paul Pierce years too. I mean, I'm not doing a fucking Celtics podcast for my health. I obviously give a shit. But I would just like to say that Jason Tatum has had 5 50-plus point games to Paul Pierce's 1. If you look at just Paul's 10 seasons in Boston, just his 10 seasons in Boston and his playoff averages, Tatum is ahead of him in all the important categories. Tatum's already made deeper runs in the playoffs than Paul did in his first 5 years. I mean, the list goes on. I don't want to have
10 years,
guys.
Yeah, no.
In Paul's first 5 years, and versus Tatum's first 5 years, Tatum's made deeper runs already. If you compare their first 5.
No, I know. I'm saying, besides the NBA Finals year, there wasn't any other run that he made. So it's not even
right. And I get it.
Extend that out to 9 years.
And I get that Tatum's
5 are still better.
Tatum's been on better teams, and it's a different set of circumstances. What I don't want, and you guys don't want this either, because I'm better at this than you, and I'm talking to the audience. What I don't want is to have an argument about this, because what I was trying to illustrate by saying that is to rack your brains around to the current plethora of fucking talent that you have on your Celtics team. And you need to appreciate it, because there's people on Twitter going, "I'm taking Paul over Tatum all day." And I'm like, no, you're not, because that is not a fucking option right now. That is not an option. What you have right now is a fucking unbelievable all-star, superstar, potential top 5 player in the NBA on your team. Just fucking appreciate it and stop being such misery guts. That's all I'm saying.
We've never listen. Paul Pierce is amazing. Okay,
I love Paul.
He is my guy. Yeah. He was never even considered a top 10 player.
No,
in the NBA.
I mean, he was underrated. I honestly think
100% he was underrated, but he was never even fucking close to the talent level that Jason. I'll never forget that first rookie season, man. When Jason Tatum yams on LeBron, right? Yes, we lost that. Or even that entire run.
Totally.
You just knew that this dude is different, man. When he wants his shot, he goes and fucking gets it.
I mean, also,
when
sides for position.
There's so many different things that he checks the fucking board on. You just he's an ungodly basketball player. So I agree with you.
The nice thing about this take. The nice thing about this take is I'm getting in on the fucking ground floor. Like, I'm buying the stock early, and I'm getting in on the ground floor because it's going to age like a fucking fine wine. And the nice thing about the internet is it's forever. So everybody that talks this shit, I can't wait to just come back and say, like, did you enjoy that another Jason Tatum performance? Other Jason Tatum performance?
Paul Pierce won his first. So Paul Pierce won his first championship when he was 31?
Yeah, right? He was 30. Wonderful.
31?
Yeah.
Come back to me when Jason Tatum is 31 years old and see if he's winning his first
that's what I'm
championship.
Saying,
not a chance.
What you have.
Not a chance.
But anyway, I don't want to turn this into a fucking debate about Paul Pierce, and I don't want to be diminutive to Paul Pierce, because I love Paul Pierce. I fucking love that guy, and I know what these people are saying. What they're saying is I loved being the scrappy underdog. I loved having Pierce as our best player and him being underrated. I loved nobody expecting him to be able to go toe to toe with LeBron and then Kobe in the same playoffs. Like, I loved that too. I'm just talking about pure raw talent in the fucking eye test. Like, who are you picking first on a 5-on-5? Like, I'm taking Tatum and I'm fucking everybody up. Like, it's just the way it's working, So that's all I have to say about that. And I'm glad it got as many responses as it did. I heard it from a lot of different people that were real mad. And I just want to say, your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer, and every breath I take without your permission raises my self-esteem. Your tears taste wonderful.
I've heard that before.
I stole it. So moving on to the preview.
I meant like you said that to me before.
I meant it. Just kidding. So moving on to the preview of Game 3, but also the rest of the series. We are obviously in an extremely advantageous position bringing the Heat back to Boston for Game 3 and 4. How important is it that we win these 2 games? Do you think we'll take lessons from the mistakes the Milwaukee Bucks made against us, because we're in a very similar position that they were in at one point in the Celtics Bucks series last round? And how much do you think fatigue is playing a factor? Feel free to answer in whatever order you want.
So it's very important for us to take these next 2 games. We can't give that home court advantage back to them. We can't. It gives them so much more confidence, I feel like. And I know we've been talking about matchups and all this stuff, but like, listen, this is the NBA playoffs. Confidence and swag does go a very long way when it comes to the NBA playoffs.
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
So
it's like getting a hockey goalie hot in hockey playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it's very important for us to take this. And plus, like, we are the better team. So like, we should take both of these games at home. You know what I mean? Like, we just saw who we are at full strength and who we are matchup wise against them. So if we do end up losing one of these 2 games at home, it's just because we fucked up, period. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly like it was against the Bucks. We should have taken all the home games against them. Yeah. Maybe not the first one, but the second games, we got a fucking offensive rebound in the fourth quarter. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the only way I see is losing either of these 2 games. So if we do end up losing one of them, I'm sure it's going to be in some heartbreaking fashion. We're going to be fucking pissed. So I really hope that doesn't fucking happen. What was the other question?
Health and safety, or fucking, fatigue. Like where does this stand? I mean, it benefits us to end the series sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah, I have a theory about that Game 1, to be honest, is I think, because Al never actually had COVID, I heard. I'm convinced he did. Close quarter. I don't think he did, man. I think it was a rest, and
I think they were going to rest him.
They didn't want to put parentheses rest next to his name in the fucking playoffs.
I agree.
So they're like,
I agree, because they thought about it and they were like, oh, we could get him if he tests negative on this day, he plays Game 2. Fuck it. Yeah, I agree.
We need to get one, and a 100% Al in Game 2 is more important than a 50%.
He didn't even look 100% in Game 1. He must have been fucking goosed going.
Yes, bro. He probably had no fucking light.
Yeah.
Think about that series though. Like games that was
of course. And you asked so much of him specifically,
right,
in that series, because he had to guard that fucking absolute anomaly.
He hasn't done that in 5 years. He played that hard for that long. So yeah,
it makes me feel rested when he's sitting on the bench. At this point, to be honest with you, like I'm closer to Al Horford's age than I am to Jason Tatum's age. So at the end of the day, I feel it when he's fucking playing basketball.
That's fucking true and heartbreaking statement for us. Yeah, no, it's gonna play a big factor, man. Listen, I do think that
tonight was nice. We sat some motherfuckers early tonight.
I was gonna say we got a whole fourth quarter off. I think we need another one of these in these 2 games.
Okay, I'll take it.
We need another blowout, because it is gonna come down to, at some point, we're not going to be playing great. We're not going to be hitting our shots, and we're going to have to outrun them, out athletic them, out, you know what I mean? Out hustle them. So it is going to come down to that eventually. So we need our stamina, bro. We need it. Especially from Horford. That's the guy that matters to me.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I feel like we were able to ask kind of very little from him tonight. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of just needed to play his role tonight. Rob seemed a little bit more. Let's talk about Rob Williams for a second. Let's just talk about like the sort of hit or miss, trick or treat nature of Rob Williams. I think Rob Williams' kryptonite is Jimmy Butler, and I know that they don't get matched up a ton, so it's not that big of a deal. But nobody bites on up fakes more than Rob Williams. He fucking loves biting on up fakes, and Jimmy Butler's got a great up fake. And we all need to collectively, as a team, stop biting on his fucking up fakes so hard. And we were a little bit better about it this game, but I said this on the last show. You can't get tricked by Jimmy Butler every single time. His bag of tricks is deep, but it's not that fucking deep. You have to just like defend him. You know, like you can't get, he's not LeBron James. He's not getting whatever he fucking wants in there. It's not fair. It's not how it works with Jimmy Butler. He can go on runs, like he did tonight, but he can't be in there just doing whatever the fuck he wants like he was for spells in these last 2 games. But yeah, let's talk about Rob for a second. I think defensive or offensive outlet, he's great. Like you were talking about his sort of bailout passes, like lobs that he can make happen. Defensively, yeah, he's athletic. He's still got the hops. He's still doing good. He needs to just be a little bit more aware. He's reminded
me a little bit of old Rob. When he's in there, right?
Yeah,
you know?
A little bit. And I think that was my biggest gripe with him when he first got onto the team was, I just think defensively, like he was just, you could go backdoor on him a lot. You could switch on him quickly a lot. You could be crafty with him underneath the basket a lot. You could up fake him all you fucking wanted. And I was seeing a lot of that, I think, tonight, which was a little disconcerting, I think.
Benched? He only played 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure he got benched. Like,
I think he was getting killed out there, kind of.
Yeah, he was definitely second tier to Grant tonight because Grant played 32 and Rob only played 20.
Grant had a quietly good game, though.
Yeah, well, we talked about that, bro. Yeah. And he had 19. And I don't understand where that 19 points came from. I swear to God, in my life, I don't know where that. I don't know. Like, Grant scored fucking 19 points tonight.
Are you sure?
19 points, 5 of 7, 2 of 2 from 3. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, 7 of 8.
There you go, Grant.
7 of 8 at the line. So this
honestly, everybody was fucking scoring. So it was like, who's the next man up? You know, like so.
So this kind of goes back to what you were saying, though. For these next 2 games, right? Having guys where two different things. So first, what was one of our biggest critiques in that first game was free throws, right?
Yeah.
Roles reversed. Ime, absolutely.
And the Ime goes to
absolutely stress that in practice or in his
dude. I was saying fucking
21 of 23.
Yeah,
21 of 23.
I was saying they needed to take fucking free throws for the entirety of the rest day. Like everybody just needed to be putting up fucking free throws because it was bad.
They did.
But the Heat weren't shooting very good, right? What was the Heat? What were the Heat's free throw numbers? Well, while you look that up,
I went the wrong way.
While you look that up, I'll just talk about how I just think it's like, regardless of like, they'll shoot badly, like they shot badly tonight, but they won't do that again. So like, it's a matter of
72%.
Yeah. I mean, that's garbage. And I think but I still think you got to keep them off the line. You can't rely on that. You know? So, I mean, great that they didn't shoot very well, but they didn't shoot very well from fucking anywhere tonight. I feel like they had open looks. Their role players had open looks that I feel like were just not scary. And because it goes back to what we were talking about, like their role players, they're not that fucking good. They're not that deep. It's going to look worse in Boston.
It is.
It's going to look fucking worse.
Listen, I think we win both these games, and I think we win them handily. I was trying to extend this out a little bit here, but I think we win both these games by fucking 10, man.
Yeah, I feel like we will too.
And that's our MO though, right? This is every game this playoffs. When we play the way we're capable of from beginning to end, we win the game by 10 or more points every fucking time. Mm-hmm. And I really think that this team, man, it's something special because when they play their basketball, they're very, very hard to beat. Shaq or someone said it tonight.
Shaq or Charles.
Yeah, one of the two. We're going to beat Golden State if we keep playing this way. The Golden State's going to have a tough time matching up against us.
That's a little premature.
If we were to get there. No, if we were to get there, even they, and they're like the cream of the crop of the NBA, all this stuff, even they would have a hard time matching up against us right now.
Well, I just mean it's a little premature because the Western Conference Finals are also not the same.
Oh, right. Or Dallas, right.
Yeah.
Anyone in the NBA right now would have, is that better?
Well,
anyone in the NBA would have a tough time matching up.
I agree with you, and I was going to move on to this point also. I think just to do a refined prediction, you originally called Celtics in 5. Are you sticking with that?
Yes. 100%.
Cool.
I don't see us losing another game.
I called them in 6, and just because you already have the 5 call, I'm going to stick with it, but I'm starting to believe you. I think we won our game more dominantly than they won their game, and we're going home. And I think we're better on paper, and I think we're better in real life. So, say in theory, like communism, it works in theory, but maybe not in practice. I don't know. Maybe we should try it again. I don't know. I'm not trying to go off on a rant, but I mean, it would be worth a shot. Because capitalism isn't going really well, guys. Anyway, listen. So if we
don't do that, don't.
I mean, it's not my fault. Okay, you've seen gas prices and inflation. It's not. I didn't do it. I
know.
I did it as much as the next guy. So say in theory, we win this series. Say we win in 5 and we go to the finals. Question 1, who do you want out of the Western Conference Finals? Who do you think we match up better against, and why?
So I think Dallas is scary because they're the team that no one believes in.
I think Luka's scary.
Yeah, Luka's very scary. And I think they're better than a lot of people give them credit for. They remind me a lot of us, except without that secondary guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where they're coached by Jason Kidd, who we shit on when they hired him. Great coach. He
great
or good coach
on the far, but
yeah. He preaches defensive identity, man. He lets Luka do his thing, and on the other ends of the court, it's all about fucking doing your job and playing defense, and that's what they've been doing. They got absolutely torched in Game 1 against Golden State. I mean, and Golden State's Golden State, man. Listen, I never want to see.
Are they still? They still?
They can be. They can be at night.
Not as night. It doesn't seem to come quite as easily to them.
But they still have Jordan Poole, who they integrated in. They still have, Peyton might be back for the finals.
Steve Kerr, who's a really
Steve Kerr is the coach still, right? So
Steph Curry can still fucking light you up for fucking 38.
The heart and soul's still there. Draymond's still there.
Dude,
they got Wiggins.
Okay, but hold on a second. Draymond looks like he's got like a little person or a dwarf,
5-ton bricks
choking him. At all times. Like he hasn't been able to jump for like 3 seasons, but now it's like bad, you know. And I like, you say they still have the heart and soul in Draymond, but if we're talking matchup wise, a sick sadistic part of me wants to see Luka versus Tatum.
I do want that.
Like a sick part of me. As a Celtics fan, I don't want to see that. As a basketball fan, I want to see that. As a neutral, I want to see that. If we get Golden State, I think we got him, to be totally honest with you, because Draymond in there is just going to get, I'll put their fucking old big man against our old big man all fucking day long. Like Al will YMCA eat him with elbows, like for the entirety of that fucking series. And if he ever tries to come out to the perimeter, I'll put fucking Marcus on him. Like, I don't even give a shit. Like, he's useless out there. Or Marcus might even be too much, Rob Williams will torture him. It's bad. So it comes down to Steph and Clay, and like, yeah, they're probably going to beat you 1 or 2 games with their shots falling. But I don't know, man. I just feel like we're longer, we're stronger, we're more athletic. We just have more options. We have more offensive options. I would be more scared of Mavs personally, because I'm genuinely afraid of Luka, and I've really rated him ever since he's come into the league because he's so fucking good. And it really went up a level when he played what was the best team in the regular season. I mean, I've been saying this since we started this podcast and well before. You can't win if your best players are guards. It just doesn't work. If you get a team with wings like ours, or a team with like Giannis on it, it's not going to work. So they come up against a guy like Luka, who's just fucking enormous and can do whatever he wants and create his own shot. That's what's going to happen. But it was his attitude, and it was how he did it. Like that clip of them catching him being like, everybody wants to act tough when they're fucking up, when they're up, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, he's just like, he's kind of a fucking dog, and I think he's got more obvious dog in him than Tatum does. Right as it stands right now, but I think Tatum might be a little bit of a better player as it stands right now. So I'd love to see the matchup. Would you be scared? I'd be scared.
I'd be a little worried just because of who he is. He'd be. Is he better than Giannis? Is that a discussion we want to start right now?
He's different. It's such a different thing, I think, because
he's just as imposing as Giannis is.
It's just as upsetting to have to play against him.
Plus, he fucking kills us too.
He does.
He fucking kills us.
I think that.
I don't want to see anyone in Dallas win a championship before the Cowboys. So
there you go. I think they already have, though. Like, Dirk already won.
Someone said that to me last night. I was like, that's the point.
Sorry, I was missing the point right there. The point I was going to make, though, I think that the difference, if Luka was to play at his level, I think the difference between him and Giannis is that every time Giannis pulled up for a jump shot, you were like, oh, thank God. Every time Luka pulls up for a jump shot, you're like, oh, fuck. So
that's a fact.
And he can also like make moves inside. I mean, he's not better than Giannis, but it might be harder to play against him, if that makes sense. If both things can be true, then I think that might be true. Like, Giannis is so hard to play against. I don't know. Well, let's see.
We're definitely so far ahead of ourselves.
I know. I was going to say, they parked our way into a fucking corner here. I think that we can wrap it up there. We're like, okay, so we're playing on the moon. Do they wear zero gravity boots? Like, what's the rules? It's like that meme of like Charlie Day, like all the fucking all the fucking things like posted up on the wall with like a cigarette. He's like figuring out his.
He's huffs gasoline.
That's us though, you know. If they let just me and you do a podcast together without any adults in the room, then we'll just declare ourselves winners of the series and the championship.
It's over.
We're playing.
Just give us the ring right now.
It's like, hey, Dave and Bobby, it was really good and useful, but I don't know if we're really ready for you to plan the parade route. It's good to have. It's really good to have. It's good to know where we're going.
So put a stamp on it. Is like, listen, this team has actual championship aspirations, okay? And like, I just think it's time for people to start fucking recognizing that, okay? This is no longer like, oh, this isn't the same fucking Celtics, everyone. Wake the fuck up.
It's not your grandmother's Celtics.
Wake the fuck up. This team is special. This team is real, and it's fucking on. It's on. Banner 18, okay? It could be coming to the Raptors. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I love it. I'm fucking fired up. On that note, the Miami Heat certainly know that, and they've learned that after game one, this not fucking around thing just went both ways. And for missing the point, I am DK Sizzle here with real BK Bob Kelly, and can't wait to talk to you after a hopeful game 3 win. All right. Have a good one.
Miles, are you ready to record our promo for season 2 of the Wannabet podcast?
David, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Miles, we're not here to quote lines from Airplane. We're here to tell people that season 2 starts August 18th.
But I like Airplane.
I know you do, but Wannabet is a sports betting podcast. Each week we bet $1,000 on the NFL teams and games that we love.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is fun. And last year you picked over 60% of your games correctly.
How'd you do?
We're not talking about that. We are telling people that they can find us every Friday. So no more movie quotes.
Roger.
Electricast. Welcome, explorers of the human experience. This is Let's Talk Soul, and I'm your host, Claudia Monticelli. We're not afraid of the great mysteries of existence here. Soul versus consciousness, we're on it. Spirituality versus science, we've got that covered too. Join us in navigating these profound topics with wisdom, curiosity, and a dash of audacity. Whether you're a spiritual veteran or just starting your journey, Let's Talk Soul is your passport to the unknown. Let's Talk Soul, diving into the depths of the human spirit. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
Electricast.